Thank you.
Yep. So the first thing I check is, do you have display network off and
No.
stuff? Okay, good. Thank God. It's usually the worst thing to have. You have
Yeah.
conversion tracking. You have landing page done. Do you have ad extensions? If you know what that is. So, okay. So you do have ad extensions. Presentation form. Okay, good. Good. So this is just basics to make sure you're maximizing your
Mm-hmm.
keywords. We'll go through keywords later. One thing I do want to make sure is looking at your search terms. I don't remember if we talked about this before. If you're going through your search terms, concierge home care, okay.
Yeah, I was doing go out and change some of those things because I was really getting some clicks for hospice or the home care
Oh,
agencies.
you're getting Georgia Home Health. You're in Jacksonville, correct?
I mean Jacksonville, yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. I mean Georgia is not too far, but I think the issue was I was doing 35 mile radius. 35 would take me to Georgia anyway. Maybe
Okay.
that's why.
But you don't want to be showing up for Georgia, correct?
No, no, I don't serve Georgia.
Okay. Um, so what we can do here is a
I think
simple
I did
fix.
change it already. I don't know yet.
So first thing is here. Okay, so you have this set up, which is fine. Um, you don't have any miles radius. So the next layer to make sure that we don't show up for Georgia is to exclude it. So you can add locations that you don't want to show up for. So
So
that.
another question I'm asking. There is a few county that I serve here,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, I have hard time staffing. I can exclude it on the ad or just leave it. What do
You
you
can
think?
let's. It's best to exclude it. What are the counties?
I mean, I serve St. John County. Some zip, it depends where. Some zip could I have hard time staffing because they'll be like 40, 60 miles. It's a little,
Yeah,
I would say
Florida's a
it's an
big area,
older
so.
city, but it's expensive. I don't want to exclude all the counties, but I can exclude some zip code. Is that okay?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Do you know the zip codes?
32095
282095.
32320
Oh, three two
six
zero
zero
nine
zero.
five.
Mhm. I'm gonna 32084. Again, to be honest with you, the people that can pay,
I mean,
yeah, you can exclude it.
it doesn't matter if, even if they can pay, if you can't reach them, or if it's going to be a very hard time, or
I mean the thing that I had, I could not staff. I'm still trying to find somebody for them. I can staff them.
okay.
Okay.
But you can always remove this for now. Like, you can always say, if you realize you can staff them, or you do find a caregiver in that area, you can always just go into like the campaign, the locations excluded, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
just X this
Mm-hmm.
out at any
Okay.
time. Okay,
Okay,
so
that's fine.
let's go on to, what do I have here? Oh yeah, your search terms. So, are you going through your search terms at least every 2 to 3 days or something like that?
Yes.
Okay,
I
and
was doing that. If you look at, I got a bunch of negative keywords that I did for the.
yeah, I can see that, there's some excluded here. We can exclude this as well. Another thing that can help is,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, because you've gotten, you know, say for example, you're getting Vita wounds. So
Yeah,
one thing you
actually.
can do is, like calm, for example, you can add it in as a broad match negative. So that way, anytime that, if anyone types in the word calm at all, which has nothing to do with anything that you offer, you're not gonna show for it. So, because even if you exclude this, like care calm caregivers, if someone types care calm caregiver without the S, your ad's gonna still show,
Okay.
unfortunately. So what I would do is, this is what I do on like a normal basis, is like, you can have like a notepad,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you can just take like the root of it. So in this case it would be calm, and then after you go through that whole list, you would I'll show you an example. And then let's say, do you do wound care?
No, I don't do wound care.
Okay, and then that, because you've gotten clicks and you're getting charged for, at least for this one, you got charged
Mm-hmm.
for when you don't service it. So like you would just gather like the root of that and like care well. This one's really big
Yep.
because it's another company,
Yes.
and then so then you'd go through that list, copy it, and then you'd go into your negative keyword list,
Gotcha.
and then you would just add it. You'd paste it
Okay.
here, and then so now anytime someone searches anything with care well, wound, or calm, your ad shouldn't show up for it. So
Perfect.
that's
Okay.
a so this is
I know.
the
Mm-hmm.
way that you make sure that you're only getting traffic that you want to get,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
ignoring all the stuff that you don't want to get. Okay.
Okay.
So give me 1 second. Okay. Um all right, let's look at your keywords. See how they're doing. Sometimes my computer takes a little bit. Okay.
Can we see this the strength? I mean the rating of the keywords. Keyword rating too. I think I'm going to column and add it so we can see. Because the other thing I was reading today
Like, do you
say,
mean the quality score? Is that what you're
yeah,
talking
the
about?
quality score, yes.
Okay.
Does it really matter or it does matter?
Um, that's a great question. So quality score, it's like it's just showing you a way that hey, if you wanted to improve your results, this is how you
Mm-hmm.
could. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're already getting good results, it's not something you worry about. So it's kind of
Okay.
like don't don't make it like your life's mission with a
Mm-hmm.
quality score, but like if you kind of want to get maybe a little bit more from that keyword, then
Mm-hmm.
this is how you would do it.
Okay.
So where's my computer?
It's running slow.
Very, of course, so many other things on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so expected CTR is pretty much the click through rate Google kind of expects you to have, comparing it
Mm-hmm.
to all other advertisers and other things like that. Okay, loaded finally. Um, the thing is, this is kind of like Google's guess, and no one really knows how it like
Calculated.
calculates it or functions it,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be like very obnoxious. Like a 4.6 click through rate is pretty good, but and it's saying that it's it's average, but here you have a 10% click through rate, which is way above average, and it's saying it's below average. So this is kind of like the best thing you can do is just try to find ways to improve your click through rate by just adding more message match to the ads or adding something that's going to entice someone to click. The landing page experience is pretty much as long as your page loads fast and it contains the keyword, then it should be pretty good. It's pretty much estimates how relevant your landing page and how useful it is to the person
Mm-hmm.
who's searching. And then ad relevance is pretty much how closely matched your ad is
Mm-hmm.
to the keyword.
Okay.
So usually if it's average or above average, then you don't have to worry about it. Usually if it's below average, that's when Google says like, maybe there's something you can do about it. But like I said, if let's say for example, um, like this one, this word got a conversion. Let's say that if everything was below average, you were getting like a 3 out of 10, but you like the cost per conversion, which is this is a really good cost per conversion, then you wouldn't really worry about it. But let's say if there's a keyword that you want to give a little bit more life to, so for example, Home Health Agencies Jacksonville, you would possibly want to do some separate things like make it into its own ad group, and then making its own ads and things like that, and making like its own dedicated landing pages. That should get it to at least a 5 or a 6, depending
Okay.
on how you want to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, so the main issue I have with this, with what you have so far, is that you put all your keywords in one ad group, which
Okay.
is not the best thing to do because it's
Okay.
hard to make ads that are relevant to all of these keywords at the same time.
Okay.
So,
All right. So you wanna do it in different ad groups?
oh, definitely.
Okay.
So that will, I think, doing that alone will improve a lot of things. So here, and also here, your ads, say home care agency, senior home care, caregiver services, and home care. You're just saying home care in different ways. We can help insurance and bonded, which is good. Highly trained caregivers is good, but there's no award-winning care is also really good. But some other things I like to also mention is speed. So saying care can start in 24 hours, or
Okay. Let's do that. Let's change it. Let's get
flexible
it done.
flexible scheduling and things like that.
Okay. Flexible scheduling
Yeah,
and no long-term commitment, something like that. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
try
That's actually, so what I'm gonna do is, okay. So
changing different ad
yeah,
groups.
so let's first make the different ad groups. So we're gonna make so what we're gonna do is we're gonna name this just the home care service ad group, and then we're gonna make another ad group that is gonna be about home care agency, and then we'll we'll do all this stuff later because it seems like you have the keywords that are good, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
having them all
Getting much in
in
one
one.
ad. Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna have a specific one that says home care Jacksonville, a geo target one, and then let me see the other keywords you have. Home care, and then we'll have one more that has a caregiver as well.
Caregiver as well.
Yeah, a caregiver one. Do you provide nursing care or no?
No nursing care.
Okay, so I would be careful of because you do have a word that says nursing care, caregiver slash attendant.
So can we do like a specific for like say dementia care or no, or
Yeah, we
just they
can.
don't work? They don't work for. I mean, based on your experience, do they work for you or 24-hour care services or something?
So with 24-hour living and sometimes even dementia care, they can be very expensive. So I have a client that's
Gotcha.
trying to only do like a living care, um, only do living like only advertise a living care, and I mean it's in San Antonio, so it is a different area. But his cost per click can be like up to $50 a click. So it can be very expensive. So I would
Okay.
say just make if you want like quick wins and quick conversions, uh, I would do that. I would do like home care agency, home care Jacksonville, home care service, caregivers.
Okay, that's
Um,
fine.
and the thing is as well, people who do intend to do live in or anything like
I
that.
don't do living. I mean, I would love a 24-hour care, but not a living per se. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I thought those are interchangeable. I'd always thought they were interchangeable.
They are because the difference is living.
If someone
They
actually
require one
lives,
person that you have 8 hours for them to sleep. So that one is around the clock. So basically, I do two 12-hour shift or three 4 hour 8 hour shift.
hmm
So that person don't require to have an 8 hour break.
that makes sense. Yeah. And then the
That's
other
the
ones
difference.
just they just come in for 16 hours, but they don't stay in. They don't sleep.
Okay.
Is that what's the difference with between like 24
No,
hour
no, no.
care?
The living, one
Mm-hmm.
person is just living there,
Mm-hmm.
but within that 24 hours, she had an 8 hour break.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
24-hour care services, you just will provide 24-hour care on the
Oh.
clock
Okay.
with two or three or how many caregiver you want,
Yeah,
but
that
those
makes
people are
sense.
getting paid. They don't have a break time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um. Okay. So what we're gonna do is okay contains the word agency. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all the keywords
Hmm.
that contain agency
Okay.
and
Put it in one.
we're gonna put it in this one. Yeah. And it also makes optimization a little bit easier as well. And then we're gonna paste it here.
Okay. You see how easy for you to just pull them and remove them from one?
Yep. You make it very simple, thankfully.
Yep.
Um, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the if it contains Jacksonville. So this way we can increase our ad relevance because we can make our ads more relevant to what people are searching,
Or searching for.
and that's going to increase the quality score. So you can see here that how it's below relevance here. It's definitely
Hmm.
because you don't have the words Jacksonville, Florida in it. So that can
Okay.
increase to at least average, and
Hmm.
then that's going to increase the quality score because and also your quality score also does influence how much you pay per click
You pay for the click. Hmm.
because
But
it's
our home care near me or service caregiver near me, the near me can be something to or no?
um do you only target Jacksonville?
Yes.
Okay, then we can put the near me in here as well because if the near me um yeah, we can put the near me in here as well.
Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville. I mean, 4 5 counties. But when you say near me, um,
If it's as
because
long
I
as
can
you're
when you're
in
typing
Jackson.
something, I see the near me kind of appear with Google. Kind of, hey, let's say something near me, always on the back of Google
Mhm.
as a recommendation. Do I have it anywhere? I'm not sure. I think I have
I
it
think
on
you do.
Google.
I think I saw it.
I
Oh,
had it
my
somewhere.
computer's almost
Mhm.
let me see. Okay. Um okay, we're going to make it into its own ad group actually cuz you have a lot of words here.
A lot of near me.
Yeah. Um and these are good near me, so
Okay.
and that way we can see okay how are the near me's doing, how are the agency words doing,
Mm-hmm,
how are the
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we'll start off with just these. If you do want to do dementia care, you can just do making an ad group with dementia care and things like that. But with $50 a day, and I think Jacksonville's a pretty big area,
It's a big area.
so it may not. It's anything you do is going to flow budget to one thing and not the other.
So
So just
let's leave it for now, and
sure,
we can see how it's doing. And
yeah. So now what we can do is let's make better ads from the start, and then we can just take those ads and then put it into your other ad groups as well. So
okay, I see what you mean.
let's see. So okay,
So you create a new.
yeah, so I created a new ad just so that way we can compare it and if I always just do.
So when
Um,
you create a new ad, do
hmm
we create a new budget for the ad, or we just gonna
No,
do the same?
the budget is on stuck on the campaign level, so
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
so you don't
okay,
have to
okay,
worry about
okay. I
that.
see what you mean. So we have two ads on the one campaign.
Yeah, and we're gonna have more. I'm gonna pause this one, um, not the other one, just because I know these ads will probably work better. So, I always just like to separate home care, and I always like to include the location, if it can fit, in at least one of them.
Okay.
So I like to say
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville home care, and also you don't want to say agencies because
Okay.
that could make it seem that, oh, I'm gonna get a list of
Yes.
multiple different agency.
Agency.
So you just want to do
You
agency.
see?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So we can add Jacksonville, and we'll do one more with the word Jacksonville in it. Home Jacksonville Senior Home Care. Or do you provide home care to only seniors, or do you also provide
You
to?
know what? I was thinking that I want to target everybody. It doesn't have to be seniors. It can be anyone.
Okay.
I mean, I'm mostly they are seniors,
Yeah.
but one of my friends just sent me somebody who's younger, like 26 years old.
Yeah.
And I put, yeah, you can remove the senior.
So I also like to include the word service as well because people who are looking for that kind of service are more likely to click on it. So caregiver
Mm-hmm.
services. I would say instead of this because I don't know why the G is uppercase here. It looks, I don't know, it just looks strange to me. I like to say something like care can start next day. So like the benefit to the searcher. So not just in home care. We can say something like flexible in home care, beanie home care advantages, award
Yeah.
award winning. You can say home care. Choice compassionate home care services near me, companion care services.
Can remove that.
Weekend and also are you licensed or just insured and bonded?
License.
Okay, you can add that as well.
License, insurance, but yeah.
Needs. Um.
There's a spelling here. Your what? Your home care needs.
Oh.
You miss M. Mhm.
Uh,
This one's a concierge care. Go back. This is concierge care for me. Is the thing. Concierge, the concierge service. But they do have an agency called concierge care, and it's a big one. I'm
oh.
competing a lot with them.
I wouldn't have that. I just wouldn't because if people
I'm gonna tell you. One time I got to care a lady,
Mm-hmm.
24-hour care, because she's, is it concierge? I say no, it's not concierge agency, but we provide concierge service as well, tailored to your need.
Mm-hmm.
And I did get that client.
Hmm.
You
Really
see what I mean?
interesting.
I don't want to keep up here there. Concierge services. It's a concierge, something, a la carte or a la carte services, something. But concierge is a big, big one. They're doing great.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
It is. And I did get that client 24-hour care. She was even I make some good money with her
Mm-hmm.
that year. That was this year, beginning of the year.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Compassionate home care. We can keep that one for now. We can keep this.
Or concierge no care services. Otherwise, we praise it because I'm keep appearing. Or should I remove it? Or just say a la carte home care services?
Well, I'd keep it because if it got you a conversion, that means I wouldn't, and it got you a very good client. I mean, I mean, it's only it's only gotten you positive reinforcement. I would say, so
Or
I
maybe we
wouldn't.
say concierge services. Because if it's concierge care
Yeah,
or
conscious
concierge
care services
services.
is fine. I think we can keep
Okay.
that in for now.
I'll leave it for now.
Yeah, and then you could always change it, and then I could show you how you can see how your ads are, what headlines are showing up when you do it, and then your call for a free consultation, schedule fee in home care. Um, okay, I like to for my description. So this description is fine. Schedule fee in home assessment today. But I like to kind of use it to say the services that people are
Go ahead.
looking
Change.
for. So something like, bathing, not with the periods, bathing, feeding, shower is the same thing. Grooming,
Companion. Mm-hmm.
yeah, companionship,
Homemaking.
homemaking. What else can we add?
Respite care.
Yeah, respite care is a
Respite.
big one. Respite care, and I'm trying to think of like what I hear callers constantly asking for. You provide transportation, right, with concierge?
I mean, yes, that will transportation take, but if the caregiver is in the home, I can take the patient to the to the doctor's appointment.
Okay, so
I just
transportation,
charge him mileage.
transportation, and more. Okay, that's fine. Um, and then personal caregiver matching, insured. Instead of saying, I would talk. This is fine. Insured and bonded. Instead of that, I would talk about more of the caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say back vetted caregivers with experience.
Okay.
Because that's what people would want in their home.
Mm-hmm.
And then
While we're here, let me see.
this is fine.
Remove this. Is it possible to just add an ad group for more like kids with the problems? Let's say they're not seniors, but they still need ADL,
You say for kids, so pediatric care?
pediatric care, or something like that.
Yeah, we can add that. I've tried it before and it doesn't get much traction compared to these other keywords. So
Okay.
if we do add it, it's not going to get as much traction, especially with just the $50 a day budget. So if you really want to
Okay,
show
that's fine.
for
That's
that,
fine.
then yeah. Um, services agency. So this is the services ad group, correct? So just want to make sure we have home care service and a good amount of these. So okay, so we can click save ad. And then, so one thing you can do is you can click on view assets details, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
see how many times it's showing what specific headline, and then if you click up here on combinations, you can see what's showing to people. So home care services, senior home care, things like that. So I mean, yeah. So it just tells you what it's most likely showing and the different in the different combinations. And
Okay.
you can, what I assume, I wish Google gave you data for this, but they don't. I assume that if they're showing it more, that's what's getting you the more clicks and more impressions and things like, and possibly more conversions as well. But with these ads that I created, it's more so it's like Jacksonville Home Care. So they're in Jacksonville. They're looking for a home care agency. This is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they're gonna find. So they're more likely to
Mm-hmm.
click on it. And then if they see the headline, care can start the next day. It's like, oh well, I need care the next day. Even if they don't need it the next day, they know that it can kind of
Mm-hmm.
start on their schedule. So
Okay.
now what we can do is we can copy these ads and then we can put it on the other ad groups. And because with responsive search ads, we can put multiple different headlines. We don't need to change these ads as much because if someone searches home care near me, Google's most likely going to populate the home care near me ad for this ad group. And then with Jacksonville, they're going to mostly populate the Jacksonville headlines. With agency, they're going to mostly populate the agency headlines or anything that's the most popular
I
um,
got you.
for that ad group. So this is kind of why it makes sense to separate it. So that because if we have it, because beforehand we had it all in one, so Google's gonna think, oh well, this ad group is popular, but you know, they're
It's
searching
that
up, they're
specific.
searching for Jacksonville. So I don't know if we should show Jacksonville. We're gonna show the most popular one instead because that's the one that's gotten the click before.
Okay,
And
let's look at that landing page for me right here.
yeah, sure.
The landing page, the quality care. Um, I mean, I had one before, but I changed it to a cell phone. Oh, it looks like I'm seeing different ones showing up here. Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers. I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah, this is
No.
the chat or there's no like chat
Okay,
one.
so okay,
The
okay.
the best way to do it is if you have you have a Google My Business, correct?
Yes.
Um, where is it? Location. The best way to do it is if you add in your location and then someone clicks on that and then they chat through you through there.
Okay.
That
Let me
would
add
be
it here
yeah, you would
on the
have to do it
location.
because it's under your email. Maybe I can.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, well, it's under your email, so you would have to do it yourself. So it's since I don't have access to your Google My Business. So if you do the same thing, you'll see your business profile managers, and then you can just click on to continue, and then it'll
Okay,
add it
I go
here.
where? Let me see if I can do it while you're here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So if you go into your campaign, if you click
I'm
on
on
your
my camp.
PPC campaign, and you go on
So
to
I haven't seen your changes yet though. On the BBC campaign?
yeah, I mean once you refresh you'll see them because I've made a
Okay.
lot of changes. Um,
Okay. Okay. Because that way some people are not ready to click but they can send a message.
yeah. So and also it's another way to extend your to I get more search real estate.
Okay. Okay. All right. Continue your thing. Well, I will look for it. It's refreshing.
Sure.
You can
Okay.
continue with your thing. Okay.
So
Very
yeah,
good.
so just having like segmented ad groups is just the best way to go in terms of this
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. And with the way that we're having it, um, it will be you'll be able to
See which one is doing
see
better.
which everyone's
Okay.
doing better, and then it's also easier to add in keywords as well. Um, one thing I will give you, I'm not sure how big is your negative keyword list. Okay, it's only 200. So, one thing I will give you on the house is the negative keyword list I use. If I can find it. Okay.
So PPC. This okay. Well, I'm on the PPC now. Go on the ad groups
No.
so I can.
So, um, go on to here, click on this ad, click on ads and extensions, ads and
Add,
assets.
add an asset.
Yeah, and then click on the assets,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and then you should see
Location.
location, and then you should be able to add it from there. Um,
Location.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, I'm not seeing it. I see location in the what? I see my location here. I see a bunch of my location in my counties.
yeah. So you would choose the location that corresponds to you, and then click continue.
Okay. Post location. Location to New Jacksonville. And then edit. Nope. Let me see a step right here. Let me share with you real quick while you're here. So,
Mm-hmm.
am I sharing? Let me stop sharing for a quick second so you can see what I'm doing. Entire screen. Okay. All right. I'm on add groups, add assets,
No, you need to
and
click on assets,
assets.
and then you need to on the right hand side. Do you see? Do you see location under all? Do you see where the blue check
Oh,
mark all
yes.
is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
And then you click on the blue button to add.
Add.
And then yeah, continue.
Okay. Google My Business. That is in a different location, a different email. How do I do that?
You'd have to request access and then add that email, and then you have to go on to that email and then accept the access, and then it'll appear from there.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
All right. So
Let me share. Go back to sharing my screen.
I'm gonna go to my email. You can share your screen. Okay. Location.
Lost my train of thought.
Okay. There is something I heard you say the other day. You will remove something on computers and tablet so you can get.
Oh, you watched my short. Cool.
I watch that because of you. You see,
Yeah,
I'm following you.
good. Yeah. So, one thing you can do, I honestly, yeah, I would do it for your case, just cause. Um, where is it? So one thing I've noticed is in terms of devices, mobile phones perform better. You can even see it with your own data here. With your 7 conversions, they all came from mobile, and it takes up the majority of traffic anyway, and
Mm-hmm.
really just computers, and you don't want to be showing up for tablet. So what you can do is just do mobile only for now. Even though I will say some computer leads have been like some of like the best leads for my
If
clients.
you're looking at the conversion or something, the data on the blue and things, sometimes you can look at it. I think I had the data somewhere where you see like meaning was in the tablet or the view.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. Like what kind of
Okay.
conversion it was, or like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's saying that all your conversions so far are just from mobile. So I would say for now, let's run a mobile only campaign
Mm-hmm.
because it's most likely because my thought process, if you're on your phone, it's not like you're trying to do research. Like if you're more likely to do research on companies, it's less likely you're gonna do it on a phone. Because the phone screen's just smaller, you'd want to do it on a computer. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
this is like people who are more likely to call. But
Mm-hmm.
I I always still leave on computers for at the start of the campaign, simply just because computers can work well and they have produced good results for my clients. So I never start with it off, but we can keep it with
There's a
mobile phones
tablet
right
you
now.
remove.
Tablets I always keep off.
You
Not
keep off, okay?
I always keep off tablets.
So do what works for you.
Yeah. So what I say is to go with what the data is telling you, and it seems like your data is telling you to go with mobile for right now. Even
Go
though
with mobile right now.
computer hasn't spent as much compared to mobile anyway, but you might as
Focus
well
on
just stick
mobile.
with mobile for right now.
Okay. Go with
Um,
mobile.
oh, one thing I'm gonna add for you, and this should very help. This should really help. Is you only have 200 or so negative keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in this industry for a long time, and I know there's a lot more than 200. Like this is my like negative keyword list, and you can see there uh I have like 4,000 here.
Okay.
So I'll add this for you, but one thing you do want to keep in mind is sometimes I think I went a little bit haywire with
Mm-hmm.
how I added the with some of the things that I have here. May have been a bit overkill. So if you over the next couple days, Google's gonna show you a recommendation, and it's gonna say you have negative keywords that's blocking your ads. Um,
Okay.
it's usually around like 20 of them that might block your ads. I would go in there and I would just accept the changes and tell them to remove those negative keywords.
Okay.
So because sometimes I went a little bit
Hard.
like too crazy and I add too much negative, so it's blocking traffic that we'll actually like. But
Mm-hmm.
Google detects that very fast, like very
Mm-hmm.
very fast, and they'll say, hold on, let's unblock these negative keywords so that way your ads can show. And it's
Okay.
only like 20 to 30 of them, so there's still like 3,000 other terms that like you're not gonna show up for.
So when you say you're blocking those two hot, being they're not showing the ad, they just
Yeah, so you know how it's like we blocked the word I forget the specific word that we blocked.
home.
Yeah, so
We block the word
let's
home.
say for care center or care well or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much just added a whole lot of other like company names and like big target names that people may also search. So like home instead, the key, home assist, no, not home assistance, um, um, visiting angels, and all the different variations people type for that, misspellings
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. So now your ads shouldn't show up for them. So that's going to make your ads more targeted and more likely to show up for people that are, legitimately looking for service. You're still going
That.
to, because there's Google's always going to find a way to show you up for something that you don't want to see.
Mm-hmm.
So you still need to go in through your search terms, but this should kind of lessen that load for you. Okay.
Okay.
But I would say in the next, like tomorrow, the next day, I would check your recommendations, and it's gonna say like you're gonna have conflicting negative keywords, and I would just accept the recommendation that they have there. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Another thing right here. I'm gonna leave it the way it is with um search, or gonna do the lead thing. Maximize a lead or maximize
Okay. So when you're talking about it, so what you have as a search campaign, but what you're discussing about changing is called the bidding strategy and
mm-hmm.
how you bid. So
Mm-hmm.
what we want to do is this is what's been working for my campaigns right now. Maximize conversions. You can set a target CPA. We can set it at let's say $80 for right now. And
Okay.
it's not saying that you're guaranteed to get calls for $80. They're gonna try to get you calls for $80, but some calls are gonna be lower, some calls are gonna be higher.
Why is that? Because I've seen the lead I get, they charge me $100 for it.
Because well, it's mostly dependent on the click, and also it depends on the time of day, the competition, how likely Google thinks it's going to convert, and all these other factors that I can get into.
You can change the thing to 50 a day for me too.
Okay.
No, that one is the 80 is good.
Yeah.
80 is good. I just think the because I have it $20 a day, you can change it back to 50.
Yeah. All right. So this is it's just asking me to do it. Okay. Um. So one thing that also I'd be careful about this. Just make sure your additional settings are okay. Okay. One thing that affects it is your competition. So if you want to see how
Yes,
what they're
yes,
doing,
I wanted to see that one
you
for
can
me. That
see
was the
auction insights. So
auctioning. Yes, yes. I was looking at that thing, it was driving me crazy. I don't understand it clearly.
yeah,
So agentcare.com, I mean, I know them. I
yeah.
used to get campaign for them, from them. But they are getting my phone, my phone ringing. We had somebody talk to, but again, they're expensive.
Mm-hmm. So do you know what these different columns mean and how to like
I
interpret
don't,
them?
I don't, I
Sure.
don't, I don't. So
So
that's it. You see, I was looking on the graph, but you can show me right here.
yeah, impression share is pretty much how much impressions that you are getting compared to ones that you are eligible to receive. So that means if there are 100 searches for home care or any of the keywords, you're showing up for 12.5 of them. And so is aging care, and then care.com is less than 10%. Overlap rate is
Why is that? Why is that?
so it depends on so if you wanted to boost this up, it depends mainly on your budget and how much you're willing to bid. So if you set your bids really low, like I think you had it before, like maybe $1 or $2 per click for maximized clicks or something like that, or like you set a very low target CPA, like $30, then you're not gonna have as much impression share because yes, while you're eligible to receive it, you didn't receive it because maybe your bid's not high enough, or Google doesn't think, oh, we don't think that this person's going to be a conversion for you, so we rather not show your ad to this person because we're not going to take the risk of them clicking on it and them not converting, and then things like that. You know, it's a big algorithm, and it's
Hmm.
making guesses on what the person is most likely to do based
So
on.
basically, when I'm looking at it, so
Mhm.
those are the only ads that running in my area. Those four, those five.
um so these are the people right now that
That
are
running ads.
bidding for the same kind of keywords that you're bidding
Oh, the
for.
keyword, not the ads. Running ad on the area.
no but the
But I'm only seeing them.
no but the keywords are is pretty much what's going to trigger your ads to show, so yes. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
So where is home instead? Where is a nanny, granny nanny? Where are these people in the area? They're not running ads.
So it could mean that they're not running ads, or they're not targeting the same exact keywords as you. There's a lot of different things. Or
Those are the
they
only one I always seen.
or there may just their impression share is also just less,
Less than
way
okay.
less, or they're bidding at different times, or there's a lot of
So
different
what keyword
reasons.
is that one? What keyword is that one?
This is all the keywords in your campaign.
Yeah, I mean those are the only people I'm only seeing. I'm like, what is that? Okay.
So let's see if oh well, this is a new one, that's why. So yeah. So I mean, it could be that right now that you guys are the only five advertising in Jacksonville, Florida, which is fine. But it can always change because people can always start up and then cut into the impression share
Already
and
for the
things like
past
that.
five, I've been doing that ad. They're the only one. At time I see one other facility, but most of them are just right there. There's people concierge care, which I say is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of clients,
Mm-hmm.
and then engine care, which is selling, those
Yeah, the
things.
leads. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it could mean that your area is not that competitive.
It
Well,
is very
it's
competitive,
still.
and also I've seen sometimes I used to get even bot click on my ads before.
Oh,
I mean, the seven conversion, I don't see where they're coming from because I don't have seven conversion. I had two, technically.
well, did they well, a conversion is anybody who calls or fills out the form in most likely your case.
But in my case, I do target.
So we could see.
I do have a CRM. that connected to the ad. So
Mm-hmm.
technically, anything calls and lead should connect to my thing.
Yeah, so anyone, it seems like anyone who submits the form is counted as a conversion in your case, which is I mean, I guess that's fine. You can delete them, but it's very complicated and hard process that I do have a
Delete
video
the
on my
conversion.
I do have a video on my channel that explains how you can delete the conversions, if you ever do want to, but it's kind of a nuisance to do. They,
Do we need to or no?
um, I mean, if you want a better reflection of data, then it's
I would love. I mean,
best.
yes, for now at
But
least.
it's
Because
not
I know
something
it's
that
a
I'm gonna
limited
go through with
version.
you now because it's you
Yeah,
need
that's
like the
fine.
G click and the G click ID, and I'm not sure if you have that if they especially if they submitted a form, and you need to know like the exact time of day. It's very complicated,
I
but
mean, I'm fine. I mean, we know we got seven. You got seven conversion. I will know when I have a new one, right?
okay, yeah, oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
So no, that's what mine is.
Um, yeah, so overlap
What
rate,
about the daily? The daily
huh?
overlap rate. What is that? That's how much we
Yeah,
need.
so that is how often you guys appear in the same you guys receive an impression at the same auction. So like so you know how Google they'll show like 3 ads at a time. So if I
Mm-hmm.
search like dentist in Waltham, so these people they're overlapping. So this is so like for example for you like with you and sorry a concierge care, you guys overlap 13% of the time. That you guys got the same impression. Position above rate is pretty much how often another that in that same auction that the person is appearing above you. So this is saying that 46% of the time the aging care ad is when you guys are in the same auction, the aging care ad is appearing above you, 40%, 70%, and then 58% for a place for mom.
So
So
they're always above me.
so they're 46% of the time, yes, they're above you. Um, but that doesn't mean that you're above them 54% of the time. That is kind of more of outranking share. Outranking share is pretty much how often you appear either higher or your ads appeared when theirs didn't. And that's only happening 10% of the time. So how I would interpret this is I mainly look at the position above and the outranking share. So this is telling me that the competitors are bidding a little bit higher than you, or they're willing to pay more for a click
Yeah,
because they're
they do have a lot of money.
simply just because they're appearing above you more, and you're not appearing above them a lot. And your absolute top of page, that's when you're like number one, like the very very top, 3% of the time. I don't worry about this. This is fine. And like the other ones are like 46%. Concierge, it seems like they're really competitively bidding for
They are
this
bidding
area.
a lot. I mean, they control the market anyway.
Yeah. Top of page is how often you're appearing at the top of the page, and 85% is pretty good. But yeah, so just keep that in mind.
How can we maximize this?
Well, the best way is to so there's two ways. So your bid is based off the quality of your ads times the amount you're willing to pay for a click. So the quickest way is to increase how much you're willing to pay for the click by increasing your target CPA. So we increase to 80. If after a couple weeks you're still not getting the results you want, or you're still not appearing as much as you want, you might want to increase it to be even more with the target CPA, and also alongside with increasing your budget as well. Another way, and this takes more time and more effort, and it's not guaranteed, is to increase the quality of your ads, which is what we did.
In the,
Which is what we did just now. So all the home care agencies and home care agency, Jacksonville's in Jacksonville, and Near Me's with Near Me, and the main way to increase the quality of your ads is by improving what's called your message match. So if I type in the word dentist in Waltham, even though this one says Newton Dental Associates, I'm not in Newton. I'm in Waltham. So I'm more likely to click on this because even though this is Newton Dentistry, which is funny, and Moody Street Dental, call our Waltham. So you see how it's like they are targeting Waltham specifically, and they're saying the words Waltham, 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 because they know that I'm more likely to click on the ad because I'm in Waltham. I'm looking for a dentist in Waltham. I might as well, I'm going to click on this ad. So that increases the message match, which is going to increase the quality. Because at the end of the day, Google wants to make sure that people click on the link and they get what they're looking for.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if they click on it and they don't get what they're looking for, they're going to be frustrated technically, and they're going to be like, oh, I don't want to use Google anymore. I'm going to switch to Bing, and then Google lost somebody. You know, that's a person that's not clicking on ads. That's a person that's not making the money. So you want to keep that in mind. So that's why your landing page is also important, and that's why making sure that it reflects what the person is looking for. What you don't have to worry about because your landing page is pretty solid. It's quick to the point and easy to understand, and hopefully it loads fast. So overall, that they have a good experience because it's like, hey, I've had a good experience using Google. I was able to get connected with this home care agency that was able to provide me care, and that makes me like Google. So hey, if I know I need to find a dentist, I'm going to go to Google. I'm not going to go to Bing. I'm not going to go to Yahoo. That's why Google is the multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that it is, simply for the fact that they give people what they want, they give people a good experience, and that's why they've been able to keep making billions of dollars. Simply just because they keep doing that, they keep reinforcing that, and if they ever stop, then they know they'll lose money, they'll lose customers, and if they lose customers, they're gonna lose advertisers, and then that's when it all goes downhill. So
Okay.
so
So do you recommend Bang and Microsoft
so
Home
that's a great
Care?
question. So it's much cheaper than Google Ads. I'll say that right now. I have done it before, and when I first used it, I had really good success. I'm like, oh, I might switch off from Google, but then recently I've been getting like a lot of like clicks. Although they're very cheap, no one's really calling from those clicks. So I'd say it's worth giving it a try because
I
it's
was
not.
trying to set up something. I don't know what happened. I mean, I couldn't finish it. They couldn't verify something. I don't know what is it.
Yeah, it could be just you need to verify an account, or I'm not sure.
Or
Because I
something
don't
like
use
that.
Bing too much.
You don't
So
use
I
it.
would say, I mean, if you can, definitely give it a try with like a quarter of the budget. So I would say if you're doing like $1,000 on Google, I would say give Bing like $300 $400, give it a shot, and then see what it gets you. Listen to the data. If you're just getting clicks, but not really many calls, and then go with stay with Google. But if Bing is getting you calls and you're able to track that and see that it is from Bing, then yeah, I would say go ahead
Okay.
and do it.
But in your experience, it doesn't really work that much for your clients,
Uh,
or they're not doing it
it
as
it
often.
used to, but it hasn't recently. And I'm not saying like I do want to try it again in the future. And it was around this time that Bing was working, but when I tried it recently, and I tried it like 2 months ago, it wasn't producing any good results that I could see. That's why I'm still sticking with Google for right now. But it
Okay.
has
Okay.
worked for me in the past, um, for my clients, for multiple of my clients, but recently it hasn't, and that's why
Yeah.
I just stopped it for right now.
Okay. Okay.
So, but
Oh.
you won't know until you experiment it because it could be different in Jacksonville. Um, it really depends on your area, how
Okay.
these ads perform. So.
So I changed the budget to 50 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You told me in the next couple of days, get the Google recommendation on net on
Yes.
negative keywords,
Mm-hmm. And then
and
yeah.
I added this thing, the asset for the Google My Business, but it's not working. I don't get the email. Something isn't right here for
Um, I
the
wouldn't
location.
I wouldn't be too worried about that, to be honest.
Okay.
But I mean, you could still try it. I'm
I mean,
not.
I tried. I'm expecting to get an email, right, or something to
I mean,
give
I would
the.
check your spam then, or check the go directly to the Google My Business account, and maybe you got some notification there, and see how it goes from there. But I wouldn't be like, this is not gonna drive you, multiple different conversions. It's mainly the ads and your landing page will, and your click to call as well. Also, are you
Okay.
tracking phone calls as well?
I'm supposed to track phone call. If you're looking at the at this thing here, the
Mm-hmm.
phone call I have, it's my CRM called on here. Can you see the call number, the phone number listed here on the ad? Can you see
Mm-hmm.
it?
Yeah,
What number do you see?
it's 904-822-7917.
Yes. This is my go high level account. That's all the
Okay,
ads are, tracking. So whenever I get a lead, it goes to my CRM. I send them, my automation is kicking.
good,
I let those people kind of, hey, thank you for reaching out, and I can start texting right away.
good. Um, is it going back to Google and like showing up? Did you set something like that up or no?
What do you mean?
Like once you get the call, is it going back to Google to saying which keyword got you that call?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know? Did you set your ads to run 24/7?
It could be.
Yeah, you do. Okay. Um,
We need to change that as well.
can you answer calls 24/7?
I cannot.
Okay.
But
Um,
if they send me a lead form,
yeah, true.
what works for you?
Usually, I just set it from like 9 to 6:30 or like 8 to
PM?
6:30 because my clients prefer calls. So I just set it at times that people are more willing to call.
I would say 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Yeah.
Nine
I
a.m.
get call in the morning. Sometimes people are looking AM, early morning. I don't know. So can you see the data for me here? Like what time they usually,
Um, it doesn't show much actually. For some reason it's no, yeah, it's saying that you've only gotten like the ads. I don't know. The ad schedule seems to be because usually it shows like all the different clicks you've gotten, and but it's only showing that you got 10 clicks, and it's not giving much data for the most part. But usually, from my experience, anytime between 9 to 6 is usually the best times to be running ads. I'm not sure why it's only showing like 10 clicks. Um, maybe if I go to specific ad group, it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, because it's the go high level. It's just showing what it's showing
from Google?
from Google. So it's not giving me anything new. It's not telling me if what call. So that's why I use something called CallRail. I can send you a link to it,
Hmm.
and that pretty much tells me. I can even show you. Can you still see my screen or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing. I was sharing. Okay, you press it now. Mhm.
So like with CallRail, for example, it'll let you see like the keyword that was like the keyword that got me the click, the device, um, and I pay for a lot of fancy features, so I get like transcripts, summaries of the transcripts and things like that. But you don't need
Okay.
you don't need
Is
all
that
that.
something I integrated to Go High
Yeah.
Level or no?
Um, I don't think so. This is something
Okay.
that I integrate with Google Ads and things like that. So
Okay. Okay.
I'll
I'll
send you
do
a
that.
link to it, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, and you can it comes with a free 2 week trial. You can integrate it with Google Ads. It's the basic plan that I recommend is just 45 a month. You don't get the transcripts or the summary of the transcripts, but I just use it for my own like marketing purposes and just to learn more about what the consumer is looking for. You don't need
Mhm.
it. If you do
Mhm.
want it, it's an extra like $95. it's worth it for me, but it really
I mean,
depends
that's
on.
what you do. Does it worth it for
Yeah.
me? I don't. We'll see. I
No,
mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
This
look
is
at
like my main
that's
full
your
time
main
thing.
bread and butter.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's very helpful for me.
So what you've seen right here, I mean, your experience with doing it, it's possible to get more because we don't have that many. The competition might be high because they have more money, but we don't have that many people running ads.
Yeah, so I mean, it's mainly just how much are they bidding. So what I
That's what
can,
I'm telling you.
so yeah, you can definitely So with how I set it up, I expect your cost per click may increase to be a little bit higher. So that because we're going to be more aggressive with our bidding, but your overall cost for conversion should be lower because of it. So it's kind of like
Overall call per conversion is really that's the difference. Okay,
yeah,
so when you put that $80 maximum, so
hmm
that's the max I'm gonna pay.
no, so it's not guaranteed. So it's pretty much we're telling Google, hey Google, try your best to get me calls at around $80 per conversion. Google's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna try my best to do it. Sometimes it can be lower, so usually it does end up being lower. Of like, hey, like we're able to get you calls for like $75 or something like that. But some calls may come in at higher. So let's say, for example, you get 3 calls from this, right? One call might be $80. Another call might be $100, but another call might have cost you $60. But at the end, Google's the average is going to be around $80 per call, and a call is based off of your it's it's really based off like how well your landing page is made and how good it is at convincing the person to call, and
Mhm.
also what's mainly driving it is the cost per click. So in order for you to, let's say, get the click over, let's say, concierge care, Google might say, hey, we may need to bid like $15 for this click, but we think it's worth it because, hey, we think this person is more likely to convert. Whether they
So
come,
what do we get the click? The click this one says $7 per click,
yeah.
right? Did I change that or you can
No, so
maximize
with this automated bidding strategy, Google's
that?
gonna automatically adjust the cost per click depending on the competition, time of day, and how likely they are to convert. If you do want to directly control how much you pay per click, that's something called manual bidding, but you're gonna have to be in the campaign a lot more. So that way you can adjust the how much you pay per click per keyword. With the automated bidding, it kind of takes care of that for you. Usually, how
Mm-hmm.
I do it is I switch between the two, depending on which is getting me the most results right now. And right now, automated bidding is getting me the most results. So I like to keep it at that. But with manual bidding, it's kind of like you do have to check on the campaign like almost every day
I mean, I
because
don't mind. Once I go to the office, I just turn it on and look at it each time.
sure.
I've been doing that. So, okay, so when I'm looking at it now, I mean, if I look at it, I spent a lot of money already on that campaigns from, November to now, almost $1,000. I only have one visit in a way, one of the conversion, that the client I see that I can't really serve, but I'm trying my best to still serving them.
hmm
So does it worth it even to do the Google ads or just go to agencare.com, just let them, I pay for the lead. I'm just thinking.
So I mean, with how your ads were set up before, it was very suboptimal. So that's why your costs and like I can show you,
Mm-hmm.
for example, like across. So I only work with like home care agencies, or that's what's going to be reflected here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so across all my accounts, my cost per conversion is around $83. Spending a lot, conversion rate, things like that. So we could see here that, and the way I set up your ads is similar to the way that I set up my ads, especially with the negative keywords. So we can get down your cost per conversion because your cost per conversion is pretty high. It's very high. So that just tells me that these ads are just kind of suboptimal at this point. So with the way we set it up, your cost per conversion should be lower. So hopefully you'll end up getting more calls and at a cheaper cost per conversion. And usually by then it should make up for it because you have to think of it also just from a dynamic of what's the lifetime value of a client. And
Yes,
if
yes,
you,
yes. In a
yeah.
way, yes.
So like even if you get like a client, like how much do you charge per hour?
28.
Okay, so we can even do the math here. So if you get, let's say you get like a 30 hour, like a, like even below average, a 30 hour per week client, right? So you do 28 times 30. So that's $840 a week.
A week.
And then a month, that's 3,000, um, 30, $336, right? In a month. And then you have to pay your caregiver half. So let's say your profit margin is like 35%, so 0.35. So, with that one client in 1 month, you've paid for the whole entire campaign with one client in 1 month in profit. So, not only is it the more clients you get, the more this stacks up, but also if you're gonna keep that person for more than a month, the life usually people can stay with you for years, even as you already have clients that are probably with you for more than a month. So that one client could just be paying for you to get more and more clients. So that's why, yes, Google Ads can be expensive, but at the end of the
I mean,
day, it's
honestly,
worth
the
it.
first 2 years of my business, I was only doing ads.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I did master, it didn't work that much. I get a couple of guys that are doing it for me. Again, when Google changed the algorithm, everything seems like, I wasn't getting, that much. Like you said, one point it was working. At this year, it wasn't working at
So wait,
all.
were you doing like SEO before, or were you doing ads before as well?
I was doing ads. This
Okay.
guy that was, helping me, he had the go at level thing. He did a year for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get a few, that's how I own my business, a few clients.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know what changed on the algorithm. I wasn't getting calls and I was spending money on these things.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of stopped service with it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then, that's why now again, I did IT, I did computers, I kind of know those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, maybe I need to dive in a bit more to see what's going on because again, it was in his account. When I stopped doing business, everything was like, over. I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to get my own account, see the data myself, try to understand what's going on in the business to see what's working because I didn't know what's going on in that, because it was his account. It changed everything
He
to
didn't
his
give you
stuff
access to see the data.
from Go High Level, not from his things because I didn't
Okay.
have access to Google Ad.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is what I mean. I don't want to do that anymore. I said that's gonna be my own Google Ad. You do it from here. At least I know. Even when I was trying to do SEO,
Mm-hmm.
you need to give me my keywords. He wouldn't even give me the list of the keyword that they use. He said that is secret sauce. But that is I pay you to set this thing up for me. You see
Yeah.
what I mean?
the the keywords aren't the secret sauce, I would say, because
I
the
don't know what is
keywords
it.
are
Yeah.
obvious. Because I heard this, I forget where I heard it, but I heard someone say you you don't need to think so like, oh, what's this hidden gem of a keyword, because your customers aren't thinking of that. They're thinking
But
of the
I was gonna
most
try to
basic
write
thing.
blogs using these keywords.
Yeah, they're mostly thinking of like, they're mostly thinking of what they need, and they're gonna type it in as simply as possible. So, like, if I need a dentist in Waltham, I'm not gonna look up teeth cleaner in Waltham, right? I'm gonna search dentist in Waltham. So there's no like super secret sauce when it comes to keywords.
Whatever. When you access to see my thing, I say, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. And then this year I'm like, I'm gonna do my Go High Level.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a few other agencies, people that I, work with
Mm-hmm.
and have the same business with me, kind of sign up with my Go High Level. I give them all my automation, I hire my caregiver, everything. So hopefully that one can pick up too. So you see.
Mm-hmm.
But the money I paid for this crap it was a lot.
Yeah, no, it's understandable, and it is a lot, especially up front. But uh,
Upfront. I mean, he
thinking,
has to do the monthly fee, and then he wanted me to give him the money for the. I said, no, you're gonna put the ad on my card. I can pause it whenever I want to, but I'm not gonna give you the money upfront to run ads for me where I have no control of what you're doing.
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I
You
always give
know.
my clients access because it's, yes, they're the one, you're the one paying for it. So
I'm
so
not paying
if he
for
was
it.
paying
And
for it and he was just charging
when
you
I
like,
stopped doing business with him, even my website was down.
oh yeah, that makes
It
sense.
changed let's change your website. I said, now I don't want. You went to a second guy. You wanted to change. I said, nope, keep my website. Where is that? Let
Mm-hmm.
me do business right there. Keep the website the way it is. I'm not gonna change. Until now, I get my own Goa level. I get my own, white label thing. And my people working for me, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
see
Okay,
if you
good.
can make it work. So again, like I said, I did the Gene Care too and caring.com. They're expensive, but if the Google ad is not doing well, like you said,
Yeah.
you
I
might
mean,
not
it
be.
all does. You still have to give things enough time to to
Yes, I
work.
know.
Like you
Mhm.
can't give it a month and be like, this is trash. It doesn't work because it really also depends on seasonality as well. And also, just keep in mind, like aging care, a place for mom. They're doing the same exact thing to get you the leads, and they are sharing it with four other home care agencies or three other home care agencies, and then charging you guys all $60 or something like that. So,
When I started, it was 38 an hour.
huh?
When I started with them, it was 38 an hour for with them
Yeah,
then. So now it's um yeah.
yeah,
But again, it costs you $50. It doesn't cost you like almost 1,000 to get the lead. Again, like you said, I don't know.
yeah. And the thing is, it's $50 for just a form fill out. This is like the potential for calls and things like that. So
People
there's
usually pay
different
you with
advantages and
data.
disadvantages and everything
Yes,
like
yes.
that. So
Okay.
So yeah, so we actually did go through everything here. We talked about the bid strategy, impression share, the ad schedule, location. We are only doing Jacksonville. Um, the ad copy we talked about, demographic. Actually, that's a next important thing. So I also like to look at the demographic data, and from my experience, yeah, I mean it makes sense. It's usually people 35 and up that search it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I usually just like to exclude from ad group people who are 18 to 24. Just because I know they're not necessarily looking for care, and even
Okay.
sometimes up to 25 to 34, I'll exclude, but definitely 18 to 24. I don't exclude them until I have data, but yeah, so we can exclude that.
Okay.
But this shouldn't change much because the majority of your traffic anyway are people in the
Mm-hmm.
proper age range, which makes sense. And yeah, one thing I also you can add to exclude is you already have something that's gonna get you caregivers?
Um, I post it over there, but I don't want that because sometimes they do the lead form.
Yeah. So this can help.
I used to have one came for employment too, but I'm paying for the leads. Why? What do you think? You
Um
exclude it or do you want to put it?
well, do you want caregivers calling you? Yes or no?
They don't have to come in here on that ad.
Okay. So then you can click save, and then this should help reduce it, but it's not going to completely nullify it, but it should help reduce the amount of people that call looking for jobs.
Because I
Um
used to have it before they will fill out the form, lead form, and then they're looking for job.
yeah. I mean, usually it's annoying.
It's
Especially
annoying.
yeah.
When say, "How they gonna lead?" Yeah, I'm looking for a job. I'm like,
It's,
girl,
it's
bye.
like, why did you click on the ad? That's
What?
my
And you put it. I said, how many hours you looking for? You said 40 hours. No, with
yeah.
okay.
So I mean, yeah, that's the next only thing. So we'll let this run for a couple weeks, at least 2 weeks. Try not to make major changes. If the only changes that you could do is look on your search terms and and add words to add words to your negative keyword list. Other than that, I wouldn't recommend doing anything else too drastic. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
also pausing keywords as well, depending on how many conversions it's getting you. And
When you
also,
say pause it, if it's getting more conversion, pause it, or if it doesn't get
if
me.
it doesn't get you any conversion, so for example here, you know, I mean this hasn't spent too much. So usually once it's spent like I would say like 150 or so, and it hasn't got you a conversion, I would pause it.
So this one need to be paused then.
Well, yeah.
Or since you make the changes now, I
Yeah,
see what
since
you
I
mean.
made the changes, I don't want to do anything yet
On it.
because
Okay,
these
yeah,
keywords
yeah. I
are
see what you
are
mean.
good.
Okay, okay. If
So,
it's getting click, no conversion, pause it.
yeah, and usually I say like 150, that's too much. Um, but yeah. So if it's getting clicks but no calls, just pause it. And don't don't be afraid to pause too many of them, because you can always just unpause it if it's hitting the amount of traffic you have. Okay.
I mean, even in home health care. I'm thinking if they were to healthcare, it's worth it. Getting the clicks, but maybe it's at the core in the
Well,
in the
you can.
home health. The health shouldn't be there.
So from what my experience is, people don't know the difference
They
between
don't.
home health
Yes. And
and
home
like regular
service.
home
Yeah.
care. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to be in the same boat. I used to actually block this, but then when I unblocked it, I was able to get so many more conversions. But the thing is, as well, for you, you're showing up for like questions like this and Mayo Clinic and Vista and like Life
The Mayo Clinic should be
Solutions.
out of that one.
Yeah, so that's why with my negative keyword list, it should block all of this.
The Mayo Clinic as well.
Yeah, Mayo, of course, yeah, it's gonna block all of it, and even Life Care. And but still go ahead and still add them as like negatives, just in case, because you can never be too